Hello, dear students. Welcome to Chemistry Fundamentals. The topic is osmotic pressure. In the previous video, we have dealt with what is meant by osmosis. So, just to for a brief revision, we can say, suppose if there are two solutions, say one is solution A, another is solution B, which are separated through semi-permeable membrane. So what is semi-permeable membrane? So we say semi-permeable membrane is a membrane which is porous, but size of the pores is such that through it only solvent particle can move across, solute can't. Through semi-permeable membrane only solvent particle can move across, but solute can't. So if there are two solutions A and B which are separated by semi-permeable membrane, if these two solutions differ in their concentration, suppose of the two, solution A is concentrated solution, solution B is dilute. Now if I put in terms of solute and solvent, so with respect to solvent, since A is a concentrated solution, it means it have more solute, comparatively B have less solute. If we put it with respect to solvent, since A is concentrated solution, therefore it have less solvent, comparatively B have more solvent. So we say that if there are two solutions which differ in their concentration, if they are separated through semi-permeable membrane, then the solvent particle starts moving from dilute to concentrated solution. The solvent particle starts moving from dilute to concentrated solution. This movement of solvent particle across the semi-permeable membrane from dilute to concentrated solution is termed as osmosis. And during the process of osmosis, that is movement of solvent particle, some pressure get applied on the concentrated solution. Some pressure gets applied on the concentrated solution. So this movement of solvent particle is called as osmosis. Some pressure get applied on this concentrated solution, and that pressure is termed as the osmotic pressure. The pressure applied by the movement of solvent particle from dilute to concentrated solution is termed as osmotic pressure. Now this osmotic pressure, we say, is directly proportional to concentration of the solution. Higher is the concentration, greater is the osmotic pressure. The osmotic pressure is directly proportional to concentration, that is pi is directly proportional to C. Now, since concentration of solution A is more than B, concentration of solution A is more than B, therefore osmotic pressure of A is higher as compared to B. We can say that since concentration of A is higher as compared to B, therefore osmotic pressure of A is higher as compared to osmotic pressure of B. How this osmotic pressure is defined? So we say that osmotic pressure is that minimum external pressure which when applied on the concentrated solution prevents the movement of solvent particle across the semi-permeable membrane. We say that minimum external pressure which when applied on concentrated solution prevents the movement of solvent particle across the semi-permeable membrane is termed as the osmotic pressure. In fact, the osmotic pressure is an internal property. Osmotic pressure of a solution is internal property, but it is measured by applying the external pressure. It is measured by applying the external pressure. Osmotic pressure is the internal property, but it is expressed by applying the external pressure. Let us elaborate. Now in this setup, there are two solutions across the semi-permeable membrane, of which solution A is concentrated, solution B is dilute. Therefore solvent particle start moving from B to A. It will move from B to A exerting pressure on A. So this movement of solvent particle is the internal property. The pressure which is exerted is the internal pressure. But how much this pressure is internally exerted? So in order to measure this internal pressure that is exerted because of the osmosis, we apply the external pressure. So when solvent particle move from B to A, the volume of solution A will increase. When solvent particle move from B to A, the volume of this solution A will increase. Now this increase in the volume of A can be prevented by applying the external pressure. Due to this internal movement, the volume of A will increase. Now this increase in volume of A could be prevented by applying the external pressure. So we say, what is osmotic pressure? So we say osmotic pressure is that minimum external pressure which when applied to any concentrated solution prevents the movement of solvent particle across the semi-permeable membrane. That minimum external pressure that is applied onto any solution which prevents the movement of solvent particle across the semi-permeable membrane is termed as osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure is in fact internally applied, but it is measured by applying the external pressure. So that external pressure which become equal to the external pressure when become equal to the internal pressure. The external pressure when become equal to internal pressure, this movement of solvent particle will stop, that is osmosis will stop. Now very important with respect to the examination, we say that if external pressure is less than the internal, or say there is no external pressure applied. If external pressure is less than the internal pressure, or there is no external pressure applied, then it would be a normal case. Then in that case the osmosis continue. The osmosis, what is osmosis? Movement of solvent particle from dilute to concentrated solution will continue if external pressure is less than internal or there is no external pressure. But if external pressure is made equal to internal, if the external pressure is made equal to internal pressure, then osmosis will stop. What is osmosis? So osmosis is a specific movement of solvent particle across the semi-permeable membrane from dilute to concentrated solution. The specific movement of solvent particle across the semi-permeable membrane from dilute to concentrated is called as osmosis. This osmosis will stop provided the external pressure is made equal to internal. But if very important, this is very much in use now, if external pressure is made greater than the internal, if external pressure is made greater than the internal, then the solvent particle start moving from concentrated to dilute solution. It start moving from concentrated to dilute, and this process is called as reverse osmosis. We have been regularly listening to RO. RO is reverse osmosis, where there is movement of solvent particle from concentrated to dilute solution. This is only possible when external pressure is made greater than the internal pressure. So this phenomenon, the last one, is very much in use practically. Now the saline water is made to converted into drinkable water by using this RO technique world over now, where the external pressure is made greater than the internal and the reverse osmosis takes place. A very important feature, again very important for the examination, osmosis could be stopped. Can we stop the osmosis? What is osmosis? So many times we have said that it is the specific movement of solvent particle from dilute to concentrated solution across the semi-permeable membrane. Can osmosis be stopped? So we say yes, osmosis could be stopped in two ways. One, by making, I said, by making external pressure equal to internal. By making external pressure equal to internal. This is one way. If external pressure is made equal to internal, the osmosis will stop. And the second way is by making concentration of two solution across the semi-permeable membrane same. If concentration of two solutions across the semi-permeable membrane is made same, then also osmosis will stop. That is when two solution becomes isotonic to one another. When two solution become isotonic to one another, so can we stop osmosis? That is the specific movement of solvent particle across the semi-permeable membrane can be stopped. Yes, number one, by making external pressure equal to internal. Number two, by making concentration of two solution across the semi-permeable membrane equal to one another. That is making two solution isotonic to one another. Now, how can we calculate the osmotic pressure? So after defining what is osmotic pressure, we now come to how we can calculate the osmotic pressure. The calculation of osmotic pressure, remember, it is done using a method called as Berkeley-Hartley method. It is termed as Berkeley-Hartley method. Let us discuss this method of calculation or measurement of osmotic pressure. So what happens? In this method there are two concentric tank. There are two concentric tank. There is a inner tank which is made up of semi-permeable membrane, and then there is a outer tank. The inner tank made up of semi-permeable membrane, the porous membrane, and then there is a outer tank. The inner tank contains the concentrated solution, whereas the outer tank contains the dilute. Now this inner tank is attached to a piston, which in turn is attached to a pressure meter. To this internal tank there is a piston attached, to which there is the pressure meter attached, and then there is a reservoir attached. This reservoir is there to maintain the level of this concentrated solution in this piston. Just to maintain the level of concentrated solution. So using the reservoir, we maintain the level of this concentrated solution in the piston. And now when this system is allowed to operate, what happens? The solution inside is concentrated, the solution outside is dilute. Therefore there will be movement of solvent particle from outside to inside. There will be movement of solvent particle from outside to inside, from outside to inside. As the result, the volume in the inner tank start increasing. The volume of solution in the inner tank start increasing. As the result, the volume in the piston also starts increasing, and therefore this piston start rising. This piston will start rising due to the inflow of solvent particle inward. The inward flow of solvent particle will make the volume in the inner tank to increase. As a result, this piston start rising. Now in order to prevent this increase in the volume or rise in the piston, some pressure needed to be applied. So because of this movement of solvent particle from outside to inside, that is due to osmosis, some osmotic pressure is getting exerted on the concentrated solution. Now this is the internal pressure. How much it is? So in order to calculate this internal pressure, which leads to increase in the volume, we are applying the external pressure, and we say that minimum external pressure, that minimum external pressure which when applied to any solution prevents the process of osmosis. If this external pressure is made equal to the internal, then this process of osmosis will stop. So we say that minimum external pressure which when applied to any solution prevents the process of osmosis, that pressure is termed as osmotic pressure, which is represented by pi, and this method of measurement is called as Berkeley-Hartley method. So I hope that this topic is absolutely clear to you all. Just practice the numerical based on the osmotic pressure. So we'll discuss the numerical based on osmotic pressure next.